were never children of the Harmony. Our ideal paradise could not have been
Oh my
crafted
God.
by Xipe. True bliss can only be guaranteed by the one who transcends the many. Within the foundation of law, humanity establishes civilization, and through harmony, we obtain order.
I never expected him to betray
To
Robin.
think that there would be remnants of the Order on Penacony.
What have you done with Mr. Yang and Miss Robin?
Don't worry. I just gave them some time alone to ponder their fates.
And I can't believe he just told me that he just did that. Like, I thought he would lie about it. Yeah, they left. Totally. But no, he told us the truth.
You should know that these actions make you an enemy of the Astral Express.
Yeah, being an enemy of the Astral Express doesn't come lightly.
Should we need to stand against the Nameless, it would only be myself and the Oak family involved. But we haven't reached that point yet, have we? Your efforts for the justice of Penacony are evident to everyone, and have been widely observed.
You want to talk terms with us? Stop beating around the bush and get to the point. Give Mr. Yang back to us now. Get to the point. Get to the point, Sunday.
Patience is a virtue.
I don't care.
However, I won't hold it against you. On the contrary, I'm here to make my intentions clear.
If it is the Order that drove you to imprison Welt and Robin, and you're using them to coerce our compliance, then there'll be no point in entertaining any type of discussion.
You're mistaken, Miss Himiko. They are in very safe hands, and just as the family has always proclaimed, no one can be harmed in the dreamscape, least of all in the beautiful new world belonging to the Order. Penacony and the entire universe have witnessed far too much innocent bloodshed. The strong wield their blades against the weak, and the victors push the vanquished to the brink of life. Natural selection. The world abides by this principle, establishing the well-being of humanity atop the corpses of the downtrodden. Only we, or rather, I, possess the power to put an end to this farce.
So you've decided to resurrect a dead Eon? No
Oh.
one's ever done such a thing.
Oh, the Order's steady on.
If Miss Himiko is interested, let's draw back the veil and speak candidly. I've always firmly believed that people can understand one another through peaceful means. I'm willing to divulge the unembellished truth as to the intentions of the Order's Pathstriders, so that you will make better judgment for the Astral Express, for Penacony, and for this stretch of the universe. Words can hardly do justice to the beauty of that ideal. So, come with me, everyone. Let us retrace our steps and see once again where this road leads.
Huh? Where'd he go?
He vanished.
Welcome.
Oh.
This isn't any location in Penacony's dreamscape.
There's an eye on the floor.
It's my inner world. The reason the scenery before you remains unchanged is because your consciousness has drawn on similar concepts to fill in the gaps.
You've imprisoned us? Who in the right mind would expose the inner self like?
Did you do the same to Welt?
It's a tuning process. Stronger in effect and more draining on the mind. The gray-haired guest has experienced it before, so she should understand what it entails. Tuning allows you to intuitively grasp my feelings, which also means that I cannot hide anything from you.
I have
Now,
experienced
everyone,
this.
please look at the huge screen. The road we once took begins here. From this point on, you will
The
witness
bad-
the numerous
Oh,
decisions
oh.
I've faced. I've selected a portion of these to share with you.
The bad's different colours. Is this from different point of view? So is this like Robin's point of view and then Sunday's point of view of the bird?
I believe after going through similar predicaments,
Or is it just
you'll be able to
one's
better
faded?
understand my thoughts. Let's begin. The first decision. A story about a baby bird. This story happened when Robin and I were very young. We were victims of the Stellaron disaster, and the family's Mr. Gopher Wood, who would later become the Dream Master of Penacony, saw that we siblings had no one to turn to and took us in later on. Robin and I lived a time with nary a care in the world. One day, after dinner, while my younger sister and I were lounging about in Mr. Gopher Wood's yard, we spotted a fledgling Charmony dove all on its own. That baby bird was tiny.
It was
It
so
didn't
cute.
even have all of its feathers, and it couldn't sing. When we found it, it was already on its last breath, having fallen into a shrub, probably abandoned by its parents. We decided to build a nest for it right there and then. However, thinking back, that winter was unusually cold, with fierce winds at night in the yard, not to mention the many poisonous bugs and wild beasts in the vicinity.
Oh.
It was clear that if we left the fledgling in the yard, it stood no chance of surviving until spring. So, I suggested we take it inside, place it on the shelf by the window, and asked the adults to fashion a cage for it.
But Robin didn't want that.
We decided that when it regained its strength enough to spread its wings, we would release it back into the wild. The tragic part, something that we'd never considered, was that this bird's fate had already been determined long before this moment. Its destiny was determined by our momentary whim. Now, I pass the power of choice to you all. Faced with this situation, what choice would you make? Stick to the original plan and build a nest with soft net where the Charmony dove fell. Or build a cage for it and feed it, giving it the utmost care from within the warmth of a home.
Oh.
I eagerly await your answer.
Oh. This is... No, I don't want to choose. So that's what the different colored screens mean. The different choices. Okay. Well, we know what's going to happen either way. It's basically let it free or let it in a cage. Yeah, what I would actually do. No, I wouldn't actually do any of this. I probably wouldn't even... The best thing is probably to build a cage for it. And then let it free once it's ready to be free. I can talk to the others. Let's see what everyone else is thinking.
I can't decipher his intentions right now, but based solely on that question, I would probably choose to build that dove a cage. Even if I was gonna release it back into the sky, it'd have to be strong enough to fly first.
Firefly knows.
If I left it
what's
where I
that?
found it, I fear it'd never get the chance to fly ever again.
Are they gonna all say different things?
It looks like he really has no intention of imprisoning us. If it's just a quiz, I suppose it's fine to humor him. Back to the question. I would personally choose to build the little Charmony dove a cage. No special reason. I do think that a fledgling should have the right to fly into the sky. But if it can't even live to that point, then there's nothing to talk about to begin with.
Are they all gonna choose the cage? What are you saying, March?
That guy just casually throws this kind of question at us? What exactly is his deal? But fine, I'll answer, I guess. If it were me, I guess I'd choose to build a cage for the little Charmony dove. After all, leaving it there, it's bound to get hurt by wild animals or something. And that'd just be too sad.
I kind of want to click build a nest because everyone else is saying build a cage. But they are right. I would build a cage. Make a decision.
I'm happy to see that you made a choice similar to ours. If your mind is made up, let me reveal the outcome of this choice. We passionately nursed it back to health, preparing only the best food for it every
died.
day. We even preened its feathers. Later, on the day that Robin left Penacony, we opened the cage door and let it fly back into the sky. I watched it for a long while by the window. Probably about 3 or so days. In those 3 long days, the little Charmony dove tried again and again to spread its wings to fly
So
into
you
the
shouldn't-
sky.
You shouldn't have let it go.
Fell to the ground, only to keep trying.
It clearly wasn't well enough to leave yet if it couldn't spread its wings. I feel like that's your fault, Sunday.
Finally, on the 137th attempt, it succeeded. But its attempt did not go perfectly.
I'm sorry.
After flying unsteadily for a while, it fell to the ground, unable to grasp the direction of the air currents.
You watched it try and fly 137 times and never thought, oh, maybe this bird's still not well enough to fly. Let's bring it back inside and take care of it again. I feel like, yeah, that's definitely your fault. You coward. If it was me, I would let it back inside. Who cares if Robin left? The bird still needs taken care of.
The fall shattered its wings.
Oh.
It writhed helplessly in my embrace. But it was all for naught, finally succumbing to a painful demise. And in that instant, our tender care, our given love and hopes, they all became the inevitable push that sent it to its death.
Yeah, no, it's because you watched it try and fly and it couldn't.
I deeply regret the choices we made. Next, let us head to the second decision. This time, it's the story of a dream chaser.
A dream chaser?
This story happened when I was appointed as Bronze Melodia, a position exclusive to the Oak family, charged with listening to the problems and vexations of Dreamscape residents, and providing them with the relevant guidance. It was during that period that I had the opportunity to hear voices from all corners of the Dreamscape. Joy, sorrow, arrogance, regret. The complex tapestry of human nature that formed the world. And I was fortunate to catch a glimpse of it. He was a dream chaser and an illegal stowaway.
I remember hearing about this.
Just like the rest of them, he came to Penacony in search of a better life. Except that, to most people, the price he paid, I suppose you could say it was everything. He told me I sold
this
everything
guy.
I could at home. The house, the land, even his 2 children.
The children, he was a
He
terrible
said he
father.
could not afford to raise them, and that at least they could eat if they lived as slaves. He had a plan in place. He would buy back his children once he had made his fortune, and enjoy Penacony's beautiful dream with them. Alas, his plan to smuggle himself was somewhat clumsy, and he was sniffed out by those pig-headed hounds. After hearing the Dream Chaser's story, I immediately appealed to the Bloodhound family to cease their pursuit. That way, at least he could live peacefully. But I was still too naive to the ways of the world. I did not anticipate that what I thought was a kind gesture would later lead to dire consequences. I'll tell you the outcome soon. For now, I'd like you all to make a choice. Will you do as I did and try to convince the Bloodhound family to stop their pursuit so that the Dream Chaser may live peacefully and realize his wishes? Or will you remain silent, leaving him to languish while the hounds are hot on his heels until his inevitable judgment arrives? I look forward to everyone's decisions. Who knows? Perhaps they might even alter the outcome of this tragedy.
Oh, I don't know how it ends, this one.
This question... Surely it has some connection to the baby bird story. And this connection is precisely the breakthrough Sunday aims to use to persuade us. I'd probably choose to ask the Bloodhounds to cease their pursuit.
That's what he wants us to go for.
A Dream Chaser story. If I acted out of kindness, I would probably ask the Bloodhounds to stop their pursuit and lend him a hand. But what cruel repercussion would this choice result in? I think Sunday must have been deeply impressed by the limitations of the strong defending the weak through this incident.
It seems illegal stowaways are really quite common on Penacony. But that guy in the story, I don't think he deserves any sympathy at all.
No, he doesn't.
He sold his kids to chase a
Thank
dream.
you, March.
Even if he intended to go back for them, it's still insanely irresponsible.
March gets me.
With that thought, there's only one choice. Let the Bloodhound send him back home. This person deserves to be punished.
See, this one's better than the last one because they have mixed things. March isn't like convince them to cease the pursuit. Honestly, I would go for this one. Genuinely, not because the guy's a bad guy, but you really shouldn't be meddling in other people's business like that. This looks like the brighter future. Make the decision.
It seems you, like me, are pondering whether a different choice could have led to a better outcome. Sadly, his fate would only be more tragic. Say he never gets caught. He would only die from delirium. The methods with which illegal stowaways enter dreams are unorthodox. Not flawless like the hotels. Living in the dreamscape would be a mere pipe dream. Should he be apprehended? Could the hounds afford to turn a blind eye? The answer is a definitive no. They couldn't bear the resulting consequences, and thus wouldn't dare extend a helping hand. As to your choice, I once again offer my heartfelt apologies. Next comes the third and final decision. And the story this time is my own.
Oh,
This
okay.
story happened the day I was appointed the Oak family head. At that time, Mr. Gopherwood was the current Dream Master, and as per his wish, we had a private conversation. What surprised me was that the Dream Master had only come to deliver a letter to me. He let me read its contents, and it was a letter
Letter.
from my sister.
Oh,
The letter contained the usual pleasantries, anecdotes from her travels. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just as I started wondering how this letter related to our discussion, the Dream Master began to speak.
Do you know who wrote this letter?
Robin?
My sister, of course. But why would you personally visit me to hand me a letter from my sister containing mere trivialities?
To help you grasp the full scope of this issue. Do you know where Robin is at this moment?
From what the letter indicates, she must be in Caspelina 8, correct? She's touring there right now.
Correct. Has she mentioned anything about a stray bullet?
What do you mean?
A stray bullet? What?
A war has broken out on that planet. It is because of this very reason that Robin chose this destination. To spread the word of the Harmony. And to save the lives of that
Robin?
planet. She personally made for the front lines.
Oh,
She hoped to ease the people's suffering with song, and was willing to brave mortal danger to deliver the IPC's medical supplies. Unfortunately, stray bullets show no such compassion.
Is she alright?
If the operation was successful, she should probably be recovering in the field hospital. By the eon above, the bullet struck her neck directly.
Oh my God.
Yet, possibly as a reward for her consistent deeds of harmony, it didn't hit any vital arteries. Once you've attended to your outstanding tasks, it'd be advisable to write her back as soon as possible.
Those damned savages! I'll pack my bags right away. My gratitude for bringing this to my attention, Mr. Gopherwood.
don't call them savages, Sunday.
Now you understand why she always wears such elaborate neck ornaments, don't you?
To hide the scar.
How could this happen? Miss Robin.
It's all in the past, so please don't worry. I share this in the meager hope that you will understand the Harmony's limitations and predicament. As grandiose as the strong defending the weak sounds, many times, it is nothing more than wishful thinking. Likewise, I've prepared one last question, one last choice. But rest assured, this choice will not have any grave consequences, because this is merely a figment of imagination, a nightmare that has haunted me through countless nights. If you ever had the opportunity to make a choice like I did, would you still support Robin's journey on the path of harmony?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Miss Robin's courage is admirable. And here I was thinking she was just another superstar celebrity. But the fact that she's also Mr. Sunday's younger sister? No, I doubt he'd wish harm on his own flesh and blood, no matter how grand the ambition.
I often feel like I've dreamt of similar scenes on certain nights. In the dream, I see blurry faces.
Oh.
I don't know who they are, but I sympathize with all of them. Fighting for survival against some unfathomable force. Their confusion and fear are lucid to me. But I also remember they chose never to give up. Just like Miss Robin. If Mr. Sunday's question leaves you puzzled, you should find the answer from your own experiences. With each trailblaze, dangers and tribulations will surely follow. But would you ever back away? Would you stop March and Dan Heng from reaching their next destination?
No, I wouldn't. Of course I wouldn't.
I believe you have an answer of your own in your heart.
They can do whatever they want. I'm not going to force them to not do something because it's dangerous. I might suggest them that if they don't need to go, they don't have to go. But I would wish them to be safe.
Can't believe that happened to Miss Robin. The strong defending the weak is a great mantra, but if I had to pay such a price, I don't know what I'd do.
Obviously, stop Robin from going on a journey. Support Robin. This is obviously the right choice. Yes. Will you make this choice? Make the decision.
I see.
Does he disagree with
I
me?
am now aware of everyone's stances.
Oh, he's back. Hello.
Raising these questions merely serves to illustrate one point. The plight of Penacony cannot be salvaged by the Harmony. The true foundation for a sweet dream paradise can only be established through the Order, where the strong govern the weak. I know the suffering of being tormented, the turmoil of losing your way, how sorrow and even despair set in when matters don't work out. All of this causes me unending pain, because this is not what happiness is at all. We must teach the weak how to live a happy life. And this life isn't some noble propriety that the upper crust preaches, but in definitive terms, a way of survival that belongs to everyone.
So what is your definition of living a happy life?
Yes, Sunday.
Good question. Human consciousness is fundamentally an illusion, a cage known as self-worth. People lured in by this illusion make mistakes, yet still ask that external influences bear the burden. When one mistake after the next permeates the masses, they become impossible to trace. Thus, the amassing of these individual cages culminate to form a prison, a place dictated only by the rule of survival of the fittest. Nature is always accompanied by predation and sacrifice. Its antithesis is known as order. That is what I want to do. Unite people's happiness under the banner of order. They won't need to make bitter choices any longer, nor face the weaknesses of humanity. They can cast aside their primal instincts to build a haven for mankind.
See, I get Sunday's intention, but he's going around it all wrong. Like, you can't unite people's happiness under order. And they can't pretend the suffering isn't there. Because it is, and they'll still be reminded of it. But I'm glad he wants people to be happy, but this is really not the way to go about it.
Simply describing thoughts is far too abstract. So allow me to provide a simple example. As you all may know, there are societal norms like weekends and long
Oh, I love a long weekend.
that exist on some worlds. During these hard-earned rest
mentioned.
days, people are given the chance to extricate themselves from the stresses of everyday life, allowing a certain tranquility to return to their souls.
Oh. Reminding you of Cocolia's speeches. Does that mean... what's... Sunday is under the influence of the Stellaron then? Because that does kind of make sense.
An It is only on these days that people do not have to adhere to the law where the strong prey on the weak. They can live out their lives happily during these brief intermissions. It's just a pity that 2 or 3 days are still too fleeting compared to the span of a lifetime.
Because how long has the dreamscape been a thing? Because if it's been a thing since they were like little, then him being influenced by the Celeron makes sense. But if the Celeron existed after the bird incident, because I feel like the bird incident, he kind of had that same mindset. Maybe he's just like this. Maybe this is just his character.
From where I stand, society's ideal system should be 7 rest days. Following Sunday, there should ensue a second, a third, and indeed an
Oh my
infinite
God.
procession of Sundays. This should be the face of the new world. Idyllic, eternal, peaceful days.
Oh, Celerons can alter memories. That's why the Trailblazer can't remember anything before then. Maybe we need to investigate with Robin. Ask Robin what she remembers about the bird incident. Or certain things. But Sunday gets it. 7 rest days. Yeah, who needs work? That's what I'm saying. Maybe I can understand where Sunday's coming from. Maybe I should start following the Pathstriders of Order for those no work days every day. Very, very peaceful.
And thus, every person can return to their base selves in this utopia. Some gaze in reverence at the stars, pouring their whole beings into calculating the distance between us and the isolated world of Pagana. Meanwhile, some seek refuge in quiet corners, holding one another, unencumbered by the chains of unwelcome obligations. There would be no need to bear the hardships of reality. Only in this way can humanity face the inevitable end with the purest of spirit, living a life of dignity. This is what it is to live in bliss. Miss Firefly, you who are stricken with entropy loss syndrome, you of all would surely understand this.
Don't try and get Firefly on your side. Taking her disability into account. How dare you, Sunday?
Like a flawless theory.
But what is the price to attain all this?
The cost is minute, merely a personal and eternal sacrifice. If this paradise is to be maintained for everyone, someone must remain trapped in solitary wakening until the end of the cosmos.
Wakening. Which means that this so-called paradise is still a dream. Stepping into this paradise means forsaking reality, correct?
It is not forsaking, but transcending. Flesh, blood, sorrow, weakness. If the physical is the root of spiritual suffering, it is only logical that we defeat it.
But in this supposed bliss, people won't have defeated their demons. The chance to overcome their tribulations would be forever lost to them. In other words, it is an escape.
that's another way of understanding it. But there is no shame in escape. On the contrary, the seeds of escape exist in everyone's hearts. Don't you agree, Miss Firefly? And as to why we sleep, it is because we are afraid to awaken from our dreams.
Yeah, you know that one thing where it's like when the most terrible person says something smart or something good? This is how I feel. Sunday's not going about it right, but he does also have a point. And I feel bad for agreeing with him. People are afraid to awaken from their dreams. Some people sleep because that means they don't have to face life. Maybe they don't necessarily have dreams, but it's just a way to escape reality. He is a great, morally grey character.
But this is not in conflict.
Not just because of his
with the
hair.
plan. Only in acknowledging this can we truly understand the frailty of human nature. And from there, show compassion and protection.
I admit that you are a born leader. Your perspective on humanity brims with pessimism. Yet you express compassion for all, even when your heart pities them. But unlike you, I live for the self. From my perspective, individuals making choices for themselves is their birthright.
And Firefly has a point too.
The want to escape may be innate in the weak. But whether they are weak or not, it is not up to another to decide.
Yeah, you tell him, Firefly.
Perhaps in your mind, you also view me as weak.
Oh, Sunday, you messed up.
Because I don't think so.
I don't think so either, Firefly. You have a very strong character.
Since Miss Firefly has said her piece, the Astral Express will also naturally give you our answer. We'll leave it to you. Just as Mr. McHale instructed before. Tell him our choice.
Oh,
What is this place?
Misha.
Does this place ring any bells, Misha?
I don't know, but I feel a sense of deja vu. What is this place?
It's the realm within a dream bubble. This was left to the Astral Express by a nameless, but weirdly, when we entered it, it was completely empty. Dr. Edward from the Dreamscape sales store told me that dreams are formed from memories, and a dream bubble can't take shape if its core is empty. So I thought you might be able to help us in unraveling this mystery, Misha. As a hotel doorman, you know Penacony best among us.
I don't know much about dream bubbles, but if you want to figure out what this mansion is, I'll do my best.
I'm counting on you then.
Yeah, we get to hang out with Misha.
Still don't get it. Why were you so sure that Misha had a connection with this dream bubble?
I wasn't sure. It was just a hunch. But since Misha feels familiar with this place, my hunch might be correct.
This place looks a bit familiar.
Exactly. This is where you and Firefly encountered death, which we now know as dormancy. Considering its connection to Dreamflux Reef, it's not surprising it appeared here. The question now is, who brought you here? Based on the clues we have so far, it's unlikely to be that masked fool. So identifying them is crucial to us. We're drawing closer to the truth once more. Let's give Misha some time, as I believe he'll unveil the secret of this dream bubble.
All right, but there are doors all over the place. Which one should we choose? Do you have any idea, Misha?
I guess... maybe this way?
Oh, we're following Misha. Let's go.
I'm not entirely sure, but... let's give it a try.
Oh, this is like the endless loop, isn't it?
Wait, you
No, it's not.
managed to choose the right door on your first try?
Oh, we escaped.
Weird. This place is quite different from the hotel. But I feel like I've been here before, and even lived here for a while. If I remember correctly, there should be a fireplace down that hallway. Clocky and I used to sit by the fire, listening to the crackling of firewood. And the room on the other side was the toy room.
Yes, that's correct.
I loved spreading out all the toys from the box on the floor and making up stories for each of them. Hold on. This doesn't make sense. Didn't I grow up in Dreamflux Reef? So, what is this place?
This could be a case of amnesia. But don't worry, Misha. It's common for everyone to forget certain aspects of the past. Those memories haven't vanished. They're just lying in the depths of your mind. We can surely get them back. Since this place seems familiar to you, why don't we explore a few more rooms and see if you can recall anything more?
Yeah, then let's check out the rooms I just mentioned.
Mikhail, that's the name. Now we all know him as the Watchmaker. So, who is he talking to? Do you know anything about it, Misha?
I'm sorry, I don't know much about the Watchmaker. But Mikhail...
Anything special about that name?
Mikhail is Grandpa's name.
Oh. I remember I used to think Misha was Mikhail. But they are related.
Grandpa? Do you mean you're the Watchmaker's grandson?
But we haven't heard anything about the Watchmaker having descendants. And the name Mikhail is not rare. Perhaps it's merely a coincidence.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Could you tell us more about your grandpa, Mikhail?
Yeah, sure. He was a seafarer who fearlessly ventured into mysterious seas and storms. He was always on the sea and had lots of friends who accompanied him on his travels.
The season being amongst the stars.
He didn't want me to call him
The boat
Grandpa,
being a
because that would
train.
make him sound old. He believed he was still young. The name Mikhail was given to him by his parents, Mihaly and Elise, both renowned seafarers. Every time he came back, he'd share his logbook with me and tell me about his adventures at sea. I want to become a great adventurer, just like him.
And you will.
It appears that the Seafarer has nothing to do with the Watchmaker. So, perhaps it's just a coincidence? So, where is your grandpa now?
He went off on a new journey, and it's been quite a while since I last saw him.
Yeah, he might be dead.
So, where has Clocky gone? Did he leave to protect Dreamville? I heard some noises from the room. Origami Bird? That's a friend of mine.
You and Origami Bird are friends?
Yeah. It's a member of the Compass crew, just like Clocky and Miss Mirror. And there's more than just one origami bird. They are a big family with lots of brothers and sisters who look the same. They follow Miss Mirror's orders and handle all sorts of jobs on the ship. They're the best sailors.
Sailors? Can origami birds be
That's
sailors?
again about the ship and the seas.
Could you tell us more about the compass, Misha?
You need the compass for the
Compass is a ship bound for the
directing-
new world.
directing
Clocky and his
what
partners
direction you're
travel
in.
through layers of fog to the depths of the sea. Whenever there is danger, Clocky will use a compass and guide the ship in the right direction.
What's with the ship? Is that like a metaphor?
That's a great story. But in the Penacony cartoon, Clocky and his partners have always lived in Dreamville and never ventured out, right?
Huh? Oh, that does seem to be the case. Weird. I clearly remember Clocky arrived in the New World in the end.
Perhaps Clocky has a hidden past.
I think I hear the sound of water.
You once mentioned there's a magnificent fountain up ahead. Look, there it is.
The water resembles a precious jewel, embedded in the dreams of all seafarers. Every time I gaze at the shimmering lights beneath the waves, it feels as though I'm back in this place, standing by your side.
Have you recalled anything, Misha?
Yeah, I saw these sentences in Grandpa's logbook. He used to say, despite the perils of the sea, whenever he stood on the deck in the afternoon, overlooking the sparkling waves, he would think of this fountain in front of his house. He often said that those moments felt like returning to his family's side, and the difficulties at sea didn't seem quite as challenging.
You know, I quite understand such sentiments.
Don't sigh or you'll start getting grey hair.
Hey, don't tease. I was just being a bit sentimental.
Perhaps every
Joking.
adventurer far from home carries a fountain within their soul. Even though the other side of the sea remains shrouded in the unknown, the fountain in front of his house serves as a compass, leading him back to his cherished ones.
Yeah. While Grandpa was at home, we would stand by the fountain and place the compass, a toy boat that I made, into the pool. Back then, I would ask him when I could go on adventures like him, and he would always laugh and say I was still too young.
It seems this Mikhail is truly a seafarer and has nothing to do with the watchmaker.
Yeah. Based
I
on
don't think
Misha's
so.
recollections, the scenes in the dream bubble appear to be his childhood memories.
But this raises more questions. According to Misha, he was clearly born on an oceanic planet and led an ordinary life, with no connection to Penacony at all. Could this be some sort of metaphor? Perhaps the sea refers to the memory zone.
Or this sea of stars.
I'm sorry. I don't know, but my
Then you're
memories
saying.
keep pouring out uncontrollably, like water flowing from a fountain. Perhaps I'll remember more things if we go further. This is it. I remember this corridor.
Oh.
Up ahead is Grandpa's study. It was in that room that I saw him the last time.
Oh, Misha.
Let's continue sailing! We've arrived at the New World!
The atmosphere in this room feels totally different.
Misha! You finally come!
Clocky.
Clocky! Here! Yeah.
Are those books on the bookshelf logbooks left behind by that seafarer?
Yeah. Whenever he came back, he placed a logbook on the bookshelf in his room. They contain records of his expeditions to every corner of the world. He described
universe.
our world as a fountain. At some point, the sea started to gradually swallow up the land where people lived. To ensure that everyone had land to settle on, he had to continue exploring the sea and search for the source of the rising seawater. On that day, he called me to his study, telling me that he was embarking on another journey. However, I could sense the gravity in his expression. It was the same look I had seen on my father's face before his final voyage. I asked him if I could go with him, but he said that my adventure lay elsewhere and told me to stay home and patiently await a certain sound at the door.
What sound?
He told me about a vast ocean in the sky. An ocean of stars.
I told you. I knew it. Called
He
it.
spoke of a train that
The sea of
transports
stars, I
children
said.
with a desire
But
to
same thing.
venture far away, traversing the sea
Oh.
of stars without ever stopping.
Oh, yeah. I knew it.
He said that he knew the crew on the train, and that he had asked them to take me along. He said the journey I had always dreamed of would start there.
He asked them to take you along with them? Were you a trailblazer?
A train? Could it be?
The Astro Express.
It's the Astral Express. I remember now. Grandpa's friends are a group of nameless who came to this world to resolve a disaster caused by a star. Then, he gave his pocket watch to me. It was his cherished treasure, appearing in every one of his adventure tales. He explained that difficult times were ahead, but assured me that the watch would guide me. He said, as long as I kept moving forward, I'd eventually reach my desired destination. And then, it was as if I heard the distant sound of a train whistle, echoing throughout the room.
Exactly, Misha! And then we followed that whistle, didn't we?
Yeah. I think I can still find the way we took back then. This is it.
Transported. Ooh.
This is my room of clocks.
Did he create Clocky?
While I spent my time waiting for Grandpa to return from his voyage, Walter gave me this workshop, and it became my secret base. Here, I learned how to repair clockwork and gears, out of my fondness of precision mechanics. In my dreams, I was the captain of the compass, embarking on adventures with my companions, Clocky and Miss Mirror, in search of the new world.
Oh, so he made that story up.
I was born and raised here.
So, this building in the dream bubble is your childhood home?
Yes, but not exactly. To be more precise, this dream bubble itself is my home.
The dream bubble?
Looks like you've remembered everything now.
Himiko knew this?
Wait. Why does it feel like everyone else knows something I don't?
Yeah, you're the only one still in the dark. Okay. So if this dream bubble is Misha's home, I'm putting stuff together. Then the dream bubble is Mikhail's memories. So that means Misha is a younger Mikhail? Maybe he was named after his grandpa. Yeah, I'm gonna just say too much that she's the only one in the dark. I totally know what's happening.
March, do you remember when she mentioned the clocky that only she could see?
Yeah, the little guy here, right? But we all saw him in Dreamflux Reef, right? And Mr. Yang even greeted him.
Oh, you saw him again in Dreamflux Reef,
Looks like everyone on the Astral Express has a childlike spirit.
but they never saw him before.
The answer lies in the Astral Express. Her experience
Did they?
shows that
No,
neither
they weren't there.
Firefly nor Acheron can see this clocky.
They weren't there when we first met Clocky.
And when we were in Dreamflux Reef, you may have noticed that for some reason, nobody outside of the crew had ever talked with Clocky.
Because a Nameless created Clocky. Yeah, I noticed that too.
A mimetic life that can only be seen by a select few. It's just like a hidden message left by someone for the Nameless.
But Misha can see Clocky too, right? They even grew up together. But Misha hasn't started the way of the Trailblaze yet.
No, he has a very long time ago. If you look closely,
That's the
At
key to the
least.
mystery, March. Now take
yeah,
a moment
catch
to
up,
recall.
Match.
Have you ever seen anyone outside of the crew interact with Misha?
No one can see Misha. I thought Acheron talked to Misha.
Wait. No way!
That's the answer, March 7th. This dream bubble is the place where I was born. And I'm a dweller in this dream. Just like a memory zone meme.
Like a memory zone meme.
I should have stayed here and waited for you. But when reality and memories merged,
Okay.
I unconsciously pushed open that door and left the bubble
I
with
was-
Clocky.
I was gonna say, we saw him in reality though.
So it's not that the Watchmaker's dream bubble is empty, but rather the stuff inside ran away? And the whistle you heard was the sound of the Express arriving at Penacony?
That's one way to see it, but I believe there's a longer story behind all this. It's best for Misha himself to explain all the details. How about we start with your name? Now, should we call you Misha, or...
Mikhail.
Thank you all for helping me rediscover my true self. Now, please allow me to reintroduce myself. I was born on Lushaka, in the Presmere system. Adopted by seafarers Mikhail and Char.
Oh, okay.
They gave me a treasure. A name that carried their hopes. Mikhail Char Legwork. Or simply, Misha.
Mikhail. See, in one of my earlier streams, I accidentally kept thinking, whenever they mentioned Mikhail, I thought of Misha. So it's not like I'm that surprised.
If you prefer, you can call me by a more familiar name. The Watchmaker.
Yeah, so a younger Mikhail.
So, you're the Watchmaker himself?
Unfortunately, that legendary figure is no more. I'm only a reflection of his life. As for the child who has been with you, he's the innocent protagonist of Misha's childhood dream.
friend of Clocky, a young apprentice, and a future mechanic on the Express.
Future? You gonna join us?
And this also marks the beginning of his journey, devoted to the Trailblaze.
At the end of the journey, I left this little flame, which I so cherished, in my deepest dreams, hoping to pass it on to the nameless of future generations.
We're hearing the original, the older Mikhail's voice.
However, he somehow left the dream bubble and forgot all about his task. I apologize for all the confusion this caused.
Because he was born with a desire to trailblaze, wasn't he? I don't think Misha has forgotten his role as a guide. He remembered it, and that's why he mistakenly appeared as a hotel doorman in her dream from the very beginning. The one who brought our unconscious friend here must have been Misha. If that's the case, we encountered the Watchmaker's legacy from the beginning, didn't we?
Well, I have a sarcastic friend who says I always take big detours and end up back where I started. Perhaps that's what every nameless has to go through. But in the end, you found me. I'm sure you're all wondering what my legacy is. I believe my hound has mentioned the Stellaron and my wealth.
Your hound.
If I may apologize, the Stellaron part is real. As for my wealth, however, it's nothing more than a baseless rumor. I left my homeland as a child and embarked on the journey of Trailblaze. I traveled to various planets until finally reaching Esdana, where my friends and I built the original Penacony and fought for its future ever since. I've been moving forward all my life, doing what I could to overcome the obstacles in my path. But ultimately, my journey reached its end, and I left behind no possessions worth entrusting. So, if you ask what's left within this worn-out train engine that can be called a legacy, I suppose it's the things that are still burning in the engine's furnace. Now that you're well aware of the current situation of Penacony, I certainly hope that you'll help me get this world back on track. But I'll leave that decision to you. For the path of Trailblaze is never paved by others.
We'll get this world back on track for sure.
All I have for you is a story and 2 gifts.
Okay.
I want to give you my pocket watch.
I don't want your
It has
pocket watch.
accompanied me
Keep it.
throughout my long journey, guiding that naive child forward, and has been blessed with the presence of so many great people up to this day. And my hat, too. The one who navigated for me placed it on my head and planted a fanciful thought in my mind. The trailblazing expedition will never end.
I don't want your hat either.
Now,
Keep it, please.
it's time for you to make your choice. Once you've made up your mind, open that door and enter the long dream of an old man. I'll be waiting for you at the end of this corridor of time.